Day one, let's do this. Does it?
Yeah. Just 2-channel. Why do we need 2-channel?
Oh, I didn't know. Actually, everyone's going to Starbucks. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's right here.
Hey, I don't have any possible who are taking stuff.
And these are my best friends. I'm Blake Canvas.
I'm Hoofbeats.
So we would love to welcome you here to our fine event. Is this the first time we've done this? Feels like the first time. Or does this feel like it's like the 9th time, the 5th time, maybe the 5th? Well, welcome back, every pony. So, I would like to see you guys. How many cutie markers do we have out here? Raise your hands, kids. No kids?
I see a
Oh, well, I can all go home. Like, no kids anymore. Kids, cheer for me. All right, Cutie Mark Crusaders. We have got the Crusaders Clubhouse. We would love to have you over there. I would love to see you guys at the costume contest, at karaoke, and I have a talent show on Sunday, so I want to see you guys there. Can I get some, like, noise, some feedback? Awesome, all right.
And who's excited for the music this weekend? I had better see each and every one of you at BronyPalooza tonight and tomorrow night. Great happy for you guys. It's gonna be amazing.
And I hope to see you all in the marketplace. Are you ready to buy some stuff? Make sure to visit all the artists there. All of them. Well, it looks like, almost, just almost, not all of them. No, visit all of them! Okay.
We have a very important question. How many of you are here for your very first BronyCon?
Alright, now how many of you took a road trip to get here?
Wow, very nice. That's super exciting for us because we have some pretty special road trip themed events planned.
Oh yeah, but we'll tell you a little bit about them later. We'll let the anticipation build for now.
We have an absolutely incredible lineup this year, so for all of the many new faces in the crowd, you're going to get to experience some of the highlights of BronyCon, like BronyPalooza, the Grand Gala Big Gala, hours and hours of awesome panels, and the special guests.
And then of course we've got other amazing things like our marketplace.
And my personal favorite for this year, brand new, we have a jam space where if you are a musician and you just want to hang out, come hang out and play music with us.
And then lastly, returning for the second time is the BronyCon Battlegrounds right near registration. If you want to go through a little obstacle course, feel free to bounce over there.
We have lots of other great stuff that we're super excited for you all to just walk around and discover.
Maybe a little nervous.
Maybe a little nervous, but we worked hard. We think you'll like what we have in store.
Oh, that was just us.
I see we have a fan favorite.
Second up, we've got Peter New. Rogers.
Nick Confalone.
Tony Fleece.
Sarah Richard.
Jay Fosgate.
Michelle Creeber.
And Gabriel Brown.
Also joining us, though not here today, is Lena Hall.
Woo!
Who gave him a mic?
How's it going?
Thanks, Larson!
Hi. TV's Bill Newton. Hi, everybody. Hey, BronyCon! How's BronyCon? One more time, BronyCon.
What's up, guys? Oh my God, we're here. All right, hi.
What's up? Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. BronyCon! Holy crap, it worked. Hey, everybody.
Larson, police on me!
I'm a little sweaty from my little run, but I'm really happy to be here. Are you guys a little sweaty from your sit? Woo! Woo!
Thank you all for those wise words. Trish. Silver Quill. The Lost Narrator. Magpie Pony. Obab Scribbler. Jesse Nowak. AC Race Best. And Saber Spark.
Hello, BronyCon! Oh my goodness, it's a sea of faces. It's fantastic. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for having us.
Hello, BronyCon! There's so many of you guys. Wow. I'm the Lost Narrator, and I'm just honored to be here. Thank you, guys. Hi, it's Magpie Pony. So good to see you guys here. And you know, I know a certain someone who hates PDA. So with all of you watching, I want to do this.
Whatever I say is not going to be able to follow that properly. Hi everyone, I'm a Scribbler or Obab Scribbler. Hi! You know I am literally shaking and being up here right now and staring out at you is kind of scary in a good way. I hope everybody's going to have an absolutely fantastic BronyCon, so be lovely to each other and I'll pass the mic along.
got a joke for you all. Ready for this? Because I do improv. All right. What do you call a lame horse? Elmer. I hope we all have a wonderful weekend.
Now, okay, who didn't want us here because the doors were locked? And we were pounding, and nobody let us in. Or, you know, continue. Somebody's got us in.
All right, well, a big thank you to all of our VIPs and community guests, and take a look for them this weekend. They'll be around the convention. You can check the program book for all of the details of what they'll be up to.
Stay where you are until 1 o'clock for our panel in this room, where there's nothing else to do until then anyways. Me, Amy, and Nick are gonna break down 3 of our scripts in great detail. So you should come and watch.
Let's do music. Okay, I'll start. There's a place in another town. Listen, you can hear the sound singing
Everybody acts the same, nothing's different about the names.
Basing themselves off the others. Part of them secretly wonders what it would be like to finally break away.
I can't be
what they want me to be. Equality doesn't mean that I'm free. Why do you not see? You are nothing like me. I just wanna be free, everything I can be. Where I go today is where we live. To save us in the no name of freedom. Looking through the comic I had as a child, wishing they could jump out, wishing they would come tonight. God, how we could use a superhero. Now you're moving, trying, praying, crying for your destiny to come this time. You are so young and you are so free, but you're aimless, and I can't help but see that you don't know what you really need. Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
You've done it all from A to Z. Are you trying to find your destiny? Someday you'll know who you wanna be.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
This verse is done, well, fine, guys. Here's my confession about this chord progression. It's really up to you. But what else can I do? But what else can I do? I guess no musician, I'm always repetition, and I'm no exception, so this has to be just another song for my, just another song for my.
So I'm gonna mention Melody, and now she's always a ladylike, but even though she's ribbon, I know she could make it in a fight. And I'm gonna mention Twilight, I know she's kind of nerdy, most about tucked away, but she can answer any day. How about you? Would you do what I do before me? It's early. Asking you now. And when the sky turns to gray, when the light fades away, you will say I just keep getting stronger, stronger every day.
to jump in and lots more songs? Are you ready for epic pose?
I like that.
Gotta get even lower.
Anyway, lower?
As low as you can.
You know I'm like almost
Then do, like,
30.
the extreme grease leg. There's so much room on this stage.
This is a
There's
huge
two of us.
stage.
It's like, how can we get to all the different square footage in 5 songs? Yeah, exactly.
So I guess that's all we have to say, right? Because
That's all
there's
we have
other
to
things that happen now, right?
I think so.
On the schedule it just said we do a medley. So now we're improvising.
So now we're
in case you
doing
couldn't
a
tell,
medley of random
this sounds
songs.
very scripted, I'm sure.
I know,
Anyway,
right?
it's great to see you guys here. We'll see you around. We're doing all kinds of panels. It's in the book.
I can't believe it's
I
been a
can't
year.
read, but
This
those
is,
are the fans.
this is our 3rd year in a row, Gabriel, and our 5th time in total. Your 5th time in total. BronyCon, it never gets old, guys. It's going to be such a fabulous time, and excited to see all familiar faces.
That should be our cue to leave. It's great to see you guys.
Yes, but let's see how loud everybody can scream on the count of 3.
We're gonna loud
BronyCon
scream?
2018. Let's just see how loud we can get.
Okay,
Ready?
all right, I like this.
BronyCon
It'll wake you up.
2018. Okay, this is a
All right.
challenge.
We're gonna say BronyCon 2018, and we want you guys to scream as loud as you can,
Okay,
and maybe
ready?
we'll break a light or something.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
BronyCon!
For you guys to get to know some of our awesome musicians a little bit better. The way this panel is going to work, it's mostly going to be just a Q&A, and we have some note cards up here with a pen. There's just one pen, you'll have to share, unless someone wants to donate one. You can write a question in the bucket. We might also take some hands at some point, but if you have a question, you have that option. You can write it on the card here, and then you don't have to wait in line or anything like that.
Where's the living tombstone?
Oh God. No.
He's in New York.
No. No.
All right, so we're gonna get started here. My name is Hoofbeats. I will be the moderator for this panel. And why don't we just go on down the line and introduce ourselves.
I'm additive subtractive. I'm a rave and happy hardcore DJ.
I'm Jay Free. I eat hamburgers. He's not even paying attention. Look at him. I'm Changeling. I like to joke on Jay Free. I'm Strack Attack. I like to joke on Changeling. Flight Rush. I make music. And Secret SoundCloud. Secret SoundCloud, yes. I do secrets. I have lots of pages that nobody knows about. I'm Rectifier, and I do heavy EDM.
I'm Hollow Point, and my shtick is Electro Swing.
I'm not that interested. All right, so I'm gonna start off with one question just to get it out of the way because it is asked at every single one of these kinds of panels. And that is, how did you guys get into the Brony music scene? And anyone can chime in if they feel like they've got a nice answer.
So, how did it start? Let me see. So, when I started watching the show originally, I heard a couple of things that I wanted to use, sample-wise anyway, for a song, just a one-off silly track, because I've been writing music for quite a while now, but I started with Pretty Notorious sample from the show as the first song I ever wrote, and just kind of went from there, and then going down the line, I started to discover, what is it, Toast Beard? Was it? Yeah, a lot of the guys who did the Toast Beard compilation, not compilations, but like the site, and I was like, there's a whole thing dedicated to this scene. This is crazy. Like, I thought the show was pretty cool, but then I found out there was other people doing the same thing I was doing, but like writing original songs and all that stuff, and I'm like, I could get used to this, so started doing that, and just kind of went from there.
Yeah, I started from, like, everybody starts from, like, the season 1, season 2. Like, I started with finding, like, Alex S and, like, Omni. Like, I started...
Classic.
getting inspired by those guys, and that, like, it wasn't even Skrillex or anything, it was just those guys that started getting me to making music, so that's how I started. Is that it? What? I guess
I just like horses, man. I was bored. I've been here since 2011. I only started making music back in 2014 with, if any of you know my first song, it was utter trash. Please don't go back to it. But ever since then, I've been working with cool people like Changeling over there. Huh? What? What you do? And then it's just evolved from there. You know, it's just more about getting to know these people than just making music. But you know, that's just a plus now for me. So thanks for having me. I guess I'm a living tombstone.
When was Candlelight Gardens? How many years ago was that? Did anybody actually go to that here?
I was there.
That was 2012.
That was 2012. I believe.
Oh no.
So, long story short, a friend of mine, Pony One Kenobi, he invited me to Candlelight Gardens and said, hey, why don't you come to this convention and see me play? And I was like, oh, okay. So I brought a little mixed track pro, just 2-channel DJ thing, and I was just having some fun in my room. And somehow I ended up on the main stage. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I did. And I was watching Silverhound and Tetsuo do their stuff, and I was looking at them and I said, I can do that. And so then I just started running the Renegade stage. And I did that for 2 or 3 years, and finally somebody said, well why don't you come downstairs and play the BronyPalooza? And I was like, you really think that I'm good enough to do that? And they were like, yeah. And so I said, oh, great, okay. And it's been history ever since.
All right.
What? How'd you start?
I was bored. As good a reason as any.
That's it.
That's it. Idle hands. Yeah. Paragraph. So I feel like it's pretty safe to say then that all you guys were involved in music and musically inclined before you entered the fandom. Yeah, seems that way. I know it's interesting because you can look at some Brony musicians that have now sort of moved on to other things and that sort of use the fandom as a springboard to sort of launch a bigger career. You can look at Tombstone as an example of that. You can look at Mando Pony, people like that. And we have some people joining. Wait. Do we have more chairs?
How is
There's a show? Oops. I'm about 3 seasons behind right now. I'm probably like 4 seasons behind. I don't know anymore. Yes, but I've watched the movie.
Yeah, I'm like, since season 4, I kind of just fell off. Like, it's just kind of, stopped watching. But yeah, the MLP movie is good. I watched that, and I really enjoyed it.
I kind of dropped off at season 5. I mean, I watched episode 1 of season 6, and then I watched the movie, and I watched like the EQG movies and stuff.
I'm same as him, season 5-ish, and I did see the movies though. I was quite surprised and very impressed.
Synth. Synth, do you like?
Serum.
Yes!
Razor.
That was easy.
That's it, yeah. All right, that's it. Moving on. Any more hands? Yes, blue shirt.
So I mean, that's stuff I do.
We're here at the vendor hall. It's a lot bigger than the one at Everfree Northwest. A lot bigger. Okay, so where do you want to go first?
Go this way. You have a go for it.
Yeah. Oh, just look around, you know. I see Dawn. There's Hawaii Pony. Oh, dude, I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, you know, Maximus showed that too.
The rest is too much
Shit, I'm low on battery. Crap. Really? Yeah, see the thing is flashing. Yeah, like, I'm not worried about storage, it's just
Hey, I wonder
battery.
well, if we see Violet again, maybe ask him.
Sorry?
Maybe ask him if he's bought like the Starlight plush yet. I don't know if that's the right one, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the wrong hairstyle.
Well, it is kale plushies.
Oh yeah, I can get the combination.
Yeah, I know. Get all the docking. Tempest Twilight reaction.
Yeah, this person likes it. Well, you know it's the same design, right?
Hey, what if we could find those like bottles or whatever?
Yeah, it's perfect. Something very fast. You can buy that.
Yeah.
Yes, you may.
What is it, 29?
I think so.
Oh, dude! Look at those. Look at that. Okay, this is stuff. I don't know, man. This is something I don't know if I can pass it. Like, oh, look at cute. Look at Luminous. Oh, look at Tempest. Oh, so cute. Yeah, especially that. Cute Twilight. Yeah. Show continue?
Yeah.
We're going this way.
I don't think it is.
I believe, I think I know this one. That's Jaded Jinx.
That's one of Loris's.
Are you taking a picture?
What? Oh no, you're good. You're good.
It's spaghetti noodles for there. Like full noodles are on. That's a new thing.
And just NC Mayor's people say thanks later.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh boy, look at.
You think Jikro might like that talking? I don't know. Spike from
Jump there, Prince.
Oh, Sonic. Sonic. I got Sonic. Wait, oh.
Okay, they probably don't realize why that one. Yeah, it's understandable. This one I tried to call
yesterday morning. I don't know if he's right. I don't know if he's the same guy from that got kicked out. I don't know.
Yep, tiny phone, and you'll get a poster.
Yeah, it is, because he has the cards. Oh. Damn, let's hope he doesn't get kicked out this time.
It's way cooler than the opposite.
Over there, and there's a shell and
Notice something. These are the backings of, I would say, 90% of epic music nowadays. And I wanted to point that out because I also would like to say and encourage to be different, because there are ways to use loop libraries and still be creative. Because what a lot of people love to do is they'll just take one loop and copy it throughout the whole song, which I guess is okay if you can make it work for you. But one thing you can do, and this wasn't rehearsed at all. Is you can layer them like that, so they won't just, so rather than getting this, oh, thank you, LMS, you get this. And it's small, it's something that a lot of people won't notice, but I'll notice it, so, you know. But I also wanted to show you guys something really cool that you can do in Contact. So, some of you may have noticed, Normal Damage doesn't have these 4 folders, and it definitely doesn't have all of this. These are patches I've made using samples from all over the internet. So, like this, for instance. And you'll notice, it's not even something that sounds orchestral, because it's not. But what you can do is you can open up the back end of Contact, go down here to the mapping editor, and take all of this out, delete the zone, and then come over here, and then you can drag those samples over here, remap it, so that you get access to these. And these are trigger effects, and nobody ever uses them, and I don't know why, because they're amazing. So like you can bid crush it, you can add a phaser, you can do all this other stuff. It's really cool. But this is more for the hybrid side.
Wait, right, Eric. That's only you can only access Contact's backend in Contact Full.
Right. You can only do it in Contact Full.
Which is pretty expensive. It's like $400. So.
But they do hold sales.
Yes.
And that's rule number 1 of going and buying sample libraries. Don't buy it immediately, wait for the sale. There will always be a sale. Yes. Especially nowadays, a lot of companies are deciding to get their heads out of their butts and start doing sales because they realize, hey, I'm not making that much money off of this right now. So, as for strings, I would say, if you're just starting out, definitely look for an all-in-one library, like Albion One or Orchestral Essentials. That was my first.
Another big library is East-West Composer Cloud, which is, I think it's like $30 a month, and they give you like gigabytes upon gigabytes of samples in their repository. And it basically has everything you need to start out with orchestral.
Yeah, and the only reason why I didn't do that is because I can't figure out how to get it to work with Linux. And that's been a big, big hurdle in actually making stuff. But if you're if you've got an all-in-one already, or if you're just looking to get one specific library, for strings, I would recommend 8Dio's Adagietto, because this comes with all 4 string sections and a whole bunch of different articulations. Pretty much all you need to start out. I've also invested in some of the Adagietto series and the Adagio series, which is basically like extensions of that. Yes?
Curious, why was it that you would be, what's the advantage of working in Linux as opposed to Windows for you?
Absolutely none. I'm just more familiar with Linux.
Oh.
Yeah, this has actually been a bit of a brick wall. I've tried working in Windows for a bit, but number one, LMMS doesn't really work there, and number two, I just didn't want to take the time to learn FL Studio because I just don't have that much time on my hands anymore. Also, Cinebrass. Even non-orchestral people use Cinebrass. So if you're looking for a solid brass library, definitely go with that. It's like epic right out of the box. It's incredible. And for piano, I can't even make a recommendation for this one because you can find pianos everywhere. It's just all a matter of what you think sounds good for you. But there is a $3 piano from Spitfire Audio. It's in their Lab series. And you can do so many things with it. I've been using that in most of my recent songs. Nobody can tell it's a $3 piano, so definitely go buy it.
In addition to that, Spitfire Audio also has like a ridiculous amount of like $3 sample libraries. So they got like this library called Scary Strings, which is also $3, and it's like this very texturized string library. It's very unique.
Yeah. And I think, like as far as the bigger libraries, for woodwinds, I don't know. I don't use very many, but if you're looking for solo woodwinds, there's this company called Embertone, and they sell a whole lot of really good libraries for really cheap. Yes? What do you mean? Yeah. I've been playing by ear, playing piano by ear since I was about 13, but then I just kind of stopped. The only way that I learned was I watched YouTube videos of other people playing, but since then I haven't really learned anything.
I'm pretty much a novice at like guitar. I've only been playing for like 4 years. I played piano in middle school and high school, but not like regularly. And I played trumpet in band class back in high school. So that's pretty much all I know how to play.
Yeah. Also, sorry if we sound kind of monotonous, but we're just tired. And something interesting about music in general is that even if you can't express emotion as you are, you can do it through music. And it's really helpful, especially for people like me, in dealing with depression. It's not a good thing, but it's almost a good thing because I can then take that and put it into my music, and it helps.
Why don't you tell us what libraries you use regularly?
Oh, for regularly?
Yeah, just give us the full ensemble.
The full ensemble. Oh gosh, that's the problem with being with making hybrid stuff, is that you typically never really work with the same stuff over and over and over again. It's always something different, and that's what I love about it. It lets me experiment a lot with different stuff. This is my laptop, so I don't actually have most of what I use on here, but I've been trying to use shreddage more. There's this Scarby Rickenbacker bass that sounds phenomenal, and I love to use it. For vocals, again, 8Dio has some really good stuff. Shoot. Some of these don't have like tab, like they don't come with the wallpaper and tab. You have to make it on your own. but it'll load. This library has a lot of vocal samples that I like to use. You can reverse them, you can chop them up, you can do pretty much whatever you want. But typically I'll use stuff like that. But how about you?
To the full thing, because I gotta use a lot of different libraries.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, because I don't use one string library. Like I mix and match like a lot of instruments. For strings, I mainly use a lot of ATO stuff, primarily Majestica, which is kind of expensive. It's like $300. Well, I got it on sale for $350, but it's like normally $600.
Majestica is pretty beastly. Like we mentioned all-in-one libraries earlier. That is
this is basically like an all-in-one library.
Yeah,
it's like,
but it's really massive.
It's a massive ensemble. It gives you like 40 string players, 20 flute players, like 20 wooden players. You know, it's massive.
If you want to make orchestral without even having to think about it, just buy that.
Yeah. ATO is Adagietto. I use that, for mostly spiccato. And then I have Adagio's cellos, which was, Radiarc actually gifted it to me, and Agitato violinists. Yes, because they have a very unique legato sound to them.
And there are a lot of libraries that we're mentioning that you're probably going to forget. So, like, after all this is done, if you wanted to ask us again, I'd be happy to share it with you, because we've both seen so many different libraries. Like, and the stuff that we use isn't necessarily the stuff that you use, so just also have, like, what kind of style you want to shoot for in mind.
Yeah. I recommend mixing and matching, like, your libraries, because it'll give your song a very unique sound, a very unique timbre, and it won't sound like everyone else's.
Yes.